Most of you came here for one thing.
Forced Commie just subscribed for 8 months.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
And the winner is your _ pal _ blue 69. Hello. Chuck Xolotl says, one day Blue, you will realize that everything I play is for a reason and not because I'm old. Welcome to the club.
Not even 37! What the fuck? The fuck, you guys? I hate it here. I am. Oh, he's calling me old, not you. Wait, I only played that because I wanted to show Blue another perspective on D-Day that wasn't just Call of Duty and Modern Warfare. Like, I wanted to join in our love of history together, and instead he made fun of me. So, whatever. Anyway, hi everybody, it's me, Charlie, and today I dressed like I'm from 2005. Why? Because we're like, I don't know, less than 30 days away from Halloween. How long until... Wait, How many more days until Halloween? The 36 days until Halloween. Typical Blue, I know, right? Takes a special moment and ruins it. Anyway, 36 days until Halloween. Today is day 36 day until Halloween, and this is my costume for the day. I am a 2000s emo. Don't look at my shoes. Look. I don't have the wristbands, and I don't have, like, I need like sweatbands, right? You need to have the sweatbands. And I probably should have had a little bit more gel in my hair. I mostly just kind of pushed it forward because that was like the style then. You didn't just kind of like sweeping it to the side and being like this was more seen. And that didn't start becoming like a more prevalent thing in like goth circles for a while. Usually like goth, emo, and scene are very similar, but like goth kind of has a more like grunge look with how like gritty the hair looks and stuff. Where like emo was kind of just like a mash between like skater and goth, at least for like the hair. A lot of this action going on. A lot of throwing your neck out. Yeah, see my hair. I had a commie sweatband. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of sweatbands. You had Live Strong bracelet. You had all those little jelly bracelets that, like, when you broke it, people are like, oh, the black one means sex. The red one means a blowjob. And it's like, okay, dude. I like having thin black bracelets. What's wrong with that? I'm gonna be doing this. Basically, what you want to do for emo hair is you want to get rid of your part. Like, that's the biggest thing about the hairstyles in the 90s or the 2005s. The green one meant you owed me a toque. Everybody had their own rules for all of them. Yeah, having a part in your hair was like lame and very 90s. Like that's what that was like considered. So like, yeah. And like usually the only people that had parts were like people who wanted to like show off their like streaks from like not dyeing their hair for a while. Everybody had to kind of their own thing. I think this is the closest I can get with my current hairstyle and clothing and makeup. I probably should have dulled down my face a little. I'm sweaty. Anyway, hi everybody, it's me, Charlie, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about all kinds of stuff. Oh, okay, I have a story about my doctor's appointment. I can't wait for Blue to come back. It looks extremely 2005, thank you. That was my goal. I was like, I got the Kohl eyeliner, I've got, you know, I wish I had the black lipstick, but I didn't. So, I went with the dark red. I don't have any of my bright red lipsticks anymore. Sorry, I'm like spaghetti. Vomit on my sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. Knees spaghetti. Arms spaghetti. I'll show you guys that song later. So I talked about it in the Discord, and by talked about it, I said, chat, remind me about a story I have to remind me about my doctor's appointment. Now, I normally wouldn't tell you guys about my physical health beyond like normal things. And what normal things are, who knows. But I was at a doctor's appointment yesterday to get some tests done. And I was sitting in the lobby. I was honestly wearing like 2013 hipster. Like I had a colorful beanie on, I had a black shirt, I had a scarf wrapped around the neck, I had the skinny jeans, I had like my Vans on. Like I looked like the only thing missing was like the mustache on my finger. Like that's it. That's all or like square heavy frame glasses that didn't have a prescription. Like those were the two things that were missing. And I was legit gonna come on stream yesterday when I could have come on, but unfortunately I lost childcare. I was gonna draw a fake little mustache just to be like 2014. Like I wanted to convey that, but I think I'll do that when we get into that time period. I don't know. I'm still doing like the 84 days of Halloween, and I'm chugging along. There's still costumes you guys haven't seen. yet, but I want to save those for when we get closer. All right. So anyway, I was at the doctor's appointment. Now it's like 9 in the morning. I've barely had any tea. I just got my son out the door. I drove all the way to my appointment. I've got a mint in my mouth because I'm like, oh my God, my breath is probably stinky from my tea. And so, like, I'm mentally not present. I'm texting my partner and I'm like, hey, I'm nervous. And then I'm just kind of like sitting there and staring off into space. And then, like, out of the corner of my eye, I see one of the women. Okay, let me back up. I get to the doctor's office. I go use the I sit down. Then I decide, okay, I need to use the bathroom. I look around. I find the bathroom. Okay. I decided how fast I have to go pee, and then if I may or may not have to do a urine test. So I was like, all right, there's no way they're going to call my name within the next minute that I sit down. So I better go now rather than later. So I get up, I go to the bathroom. When I come back out, there's 2 people sitting on either side of where I was sitting. And I was like, well, I don't want to sit in another seat because that feels like I'm making other chairs dirty. And like, I don't want to like spread germs in like a doctor's office. And like, this shouldn't be a thing that bothers me. So anyway, I sat down where I was originally sitting. The person to my right was like doing some paperwork. The person to my left was like over and up. And they were just like chilling there. And so like I'm sitting on my phone, I'm minding my business. I'm zoning out. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm glancing at the TV, but I am not processing anything. You know, it's all news I've already heard. It's Donald Trump speaking at the UN, him giving his speech, his feelings on Gaza, the UN declaring it a genocide. Like, that's what's on the TV, right? But you guys know, I'm already plugged in. So I don't need to pay attention to that. That is just static to me nowadays. If I see that in public, I'm like, oh, news is on. Okay, whatever. I'm going to hear what they're saying, and I'm going to focus on what I'm doing in my brain right now. So anyway, zoned out, not locked in at all, right? I see this woman get up and walk towards the reception desk. I don't think anything of it. I don't care. Okay? It's not my business. I've got bigger things to worry about. Which I was in the middle of having anxiety of. So anyway, they sit back down. Then I notice the receptionist comes out from behind like the door for the office. And she's got the remote. And then she's like changing the channel. And that's kind of actually where like it snaps me. Like I'm like, why are they changing the channel? Like, okay, somebody didn't like politics, whatever. The TV over there has HGTV on it. Like, what the fuck? You don't have to listen to it. Like, I don't know. And then they get to the Weather Channel. I was like, oh, like, I actually wanted to see it. And then while this was happening and while I'm trying to catch the Weather Channel, the lady who's to my left keeps, like, she's facing this way, right? The TV's over here. I'm over here. She keeps going, every time the channel changes. I'm like, why? Why is she looking at me? Now, I'm not making eye contact with her. I am strictly looking at the TV, okay? My peripherals are on fire. I have realized the situation that is going on that is weird, and I'm just trying to focus on not being weird. So I'm sitting there chewing my mint. Then the receptionist turns around and is like, I don't know what to put on this TV. It's been five or six channels of news and weather. What do you want? And I was like, oh, weather would be great. Weather Channel, please. And then these old ladies across the doctor's office, they chuckle. I love making old women laugh. But anyway, they give like a little chuckle. And then, so like, the TV remote, by the way, is garbage. It's also changing the TV to the other side. Like, they're both switching when the one remote is being hit. So there's a ton of imagery going on right now. But anyway, while this is, you know, unfolding, this chick looks at me like 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Is it my hair? Is it my tattoos? Is it my clothes? Like, why am I getting stared at while I'm just zoning out here having anxiety over this doctor's appointment? Your outfit is great. Thank you. So cool. You're lying. Now I know that you are lying. Okay, so don't distract me, Blue. I'm almost to the point. So anyway, she, like 5 times. I am not exaggerating. I would like to say more, but I'm going to say maximum 5 times, right? Because I want to give a realistic scenario. And also I saw an old-timey uniform in the video and impulsively did the redeem. It was really nice, right? Like the video. Anyway, and it's also like shot for shot Medal of Honor Frontline. Yeah, it's so cool. I love My Chemical Romance did a fantastic job doing like a little mini movies in their music videos. Stop distracting me. Anyway, the lady looks 4 or 5 times. The receptionist goes, "What? I don't know what to put on." The lady keeps looking at me. I say Weather Channel. The receptionist presses the buttons again, and then the lady gets called back, and she like, huh, 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 and I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? And I know I probably shouldn't blame myself. I don't know who this stranger is or what's going on, but whatever was happening, you know, I had no part of. Okay, I was just sitting there minding my business. I text Hobby this, and I'm like, the fuck? No one's gonna believe me. Like, this feels like one of these, like, and everyone clapped moments, you know? Like, write a big paragraph of a story that 100% didn't happen, and then talk about how everyone loves you. I'm not making this story up. It's so fucking weird. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I'm processing, and I'm texting Hobby, and then it clicks. My scarf is my keffiyeh. I had my keffiyeh on. My hair is dyed. I've got tattoos and a septum ring. I couldn't look more socialist, leftist, libtard if I tried, okay? She must have thought I don't know, because what was on the TV was Donald Trump at the UN talking about Gaza. So I'm trying to understand, and what I understand is I am sitting there, if I was somebody else, I see a person sitting there wearing a keffiyeh. They are watching the news. News is talking about Gaza. I am angry. I am so angry or upset or hurt by these images that I'm going to get up and talk to the receptionist to change the channel and then look back and forth at me several times. That's the part, like, why? Did she think I was going to give a reaction? Like, why is that, like, so weird? It was so weird, and I still don't understand it. And it was like, people were even talking about it when I went back behind, like, the chick that was doing my testing, and she was like, oh, were you out there when that lady was, like, freaking out? And I was like, yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why she kept looking at me. I don't know what part in this I played. Okay? I just wonder if, like, she's pro, like, genocide. No. Like, why else? I don't know. Maybe I'm taking this too personally. Maybe I'm victim blaming myself. I don't know. I am just trying to understand why this situation happened. The only thing I can go is I was wearing my keffiyeh and I look like a liberal. You wouldn't have thought, like, I was like some dude, like, doing something creepy while, like, HGTV was on or something. Like, it was just the weirdest experience. Or, like, if I was a boomer yelling at the TV, like, there's very few reasons why you would, like, change a TV in the doctor's office. I don't understand the level of entitleism to, like, be like, this TV is upsetting me in this doctor's office where there are multiple screens I can look at, but they need to change this one, and I have to inconvenience everyone else around me to change this one TV for my 5-minute doctor's appointment that I will be in the lobby for. I've been in doctor's offices where there's Fox News. You know what I do? I sit there and I zone out. And I just process and I take in the information and I move on with my day. And sometimes I sit in doctor's offices and they have Bluey on and then I cry. Okay? You get a mixed bag when you go to doctor's office. You're lucky if you get the news in a doctor's office, okay? If you don't have a TV, you'll go insane. The magazines are 800 years old and Nat Geo. I can only read about Mariposa so many times. Anyway, that's my doctor's appointment story. It was wild. I really, like, I'm not making any of this up. I'm not trying to, like, be like, oh, There are no magazines or TVs in any of my doctors. Oh my god. Is it just a padded cell? Ugh. Man, it was weird. It was very, very weird. So yeah, I didn't really have much else to say. I usually only wait 5 to 10 minutes though. Yeah, I usually have my phone in for my doctor's. So I'll like sit on my phone, or I'll be in the middle of doing stuff, or I'll just, like I said, I just sit there and I zonk out. Like, I don't have to listen or intake what's going on the TV to, vibe. Okay, I can tune out what's in front of me. You guys see it here. Sometimes I'm just sitting here and I'm like, and I'm not looking at the video, and I'm not thinking about the video, and I'm not hearing the video. There's just things happening around me, and I'm just so especially early in the morning or like late at night when I start getting tired. No. But anyway, I got the text that dinner is ready. So what I'm gonna do is go get that. But what I'm also gonna do, start the YouTube video that we started the other day talking about internet culture and pop culture and all the culture of the 2000s, especially America. And we're going to start with 2004 because we left off in 2003 because we did that in honor of Blue. Either that or a song. Get two choices. On how long a song. They're all pretty. All right. I'll be right back. Oh, wrong button.
I don't like your T-Series. Nothing personal, kid. But I must go all out. Just this once.
Okay, it's childish, can't be no homegirl dropping like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like this coke up my ass crack.
You're trying to dethrone me for spot on #1, but you in the year you lose, so best think you haven't won.
In Adidas with some short shorts, B-O-O all over me. My green is where it's supposed to be, your green is in my grocery.
Make this here with all the ice on in the booth. At the gate outside, when they pull up, they give me loose. Yeah, jump out, boys. That's Nike boys hopping our coast. This shit way too big. When we pull up, give me the loot.
She said, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed.
You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal.
I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you. So before I make it home, I be breaking, why me wrong? I be like that soldier boy, that Superman, that all I want me like that soldier. Now watch me, okay. Now watch me, watch me, what he doing? Now watch me,
Niggas envy up, blicky got the stiffy up, got the blicky up, drumming up, stiffy up.
It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro.
届けて切なさには名前をつけようか
Baby, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave. I need, 'cause I want you, and I need you, and I'm down for you. I woke up Chris Breezy. Oh my God, I'm the man. I'm so fly and I can dance. There's tattoos on my neck. I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead.
Gary, I'm sorry I neglected you. Oh, I never expected you to run away and leave me feeling this way.
It's a Z.
How many shrimps do you have to eat before you make your skin turn pink? Eat too much and don't get sick. Shrimps are pretty red.
Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear, no, I can't help but to hear in exchanging of words.
Hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? You got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't kiss ya. He gon' find another girl and he won't miss ya. He gon' step down at the job like what's the least? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep, I cannot dream tonight. I knew
Moonlight, moonlight, white chick, Mariah. Tryna look good in the moonlight, but so got mine. Spotlight, moonlight.
I wanna be gay, cause you're fucked and I wanna savor it. It's cool after smashing you, I'll PayPal you 2K. Oh no, you getting mad and knocked the phone right out of my hand? That shit was fucking absurd. You're a rapper who can't resolve shit with words?
Alexander Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton, got yourself a prom, you can Alexander Hamilton.
I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick buck, I like my dick stuck. I buy you a sick buck, I buy you some new wigs, I get you that nip up. How you start a family, the condoms flipped up.
낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자, 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now.
I'm linking it. Don't worry, I'm linking it. Alexander Hamilton. Okay, so where's the button? Okay, so quick update. While I was coming inside, the cops showed up to my house. Apparently, someone had called them because my son was screaming so loud they thought they were in distress. They were not. They just didn't want to eat dinner. And they were playing with their brother. And it was chaos, you know, dinner chaos. So, that was scary. Never fun. So, but anyway, I got my dinner. It's homemade shepherd's pie. I actually made it tonight, not hobby. And my only regret is that I might have made the mashed potatoes too thick. But we will see. Anyway, I want to continue watching this video that we started last week that was like 3 hours long. And we only got into like 2004. So we're like not even halfway done the 2000s. And yeah. So I'm going to link it in chat like I always do. Control C. Control V. And then we'll watch this. And then after a little while, I'll switch over to Medal of Honor Frontline.
You look after S Club 7, you used to look after the Spice Girls Simon Fuller. Have they tried to mould you and ask you to do things to change the way you 7?
To iconic pop culture, but that's all for next year. Coming soon, 2004.
Nice.
That's really interesting.
You're managed by the company you look after S Club 7, you used to look after the Spice Girls Simon Fuller. Have they tried to mould you and ask you to do things to change the way you look?
Yeah, one of them tried to mold me into a big triangle shape, and I went, no.
2004. We weren't quite halfway through the aughts.
Let me tell you about my boat.
But we were deep enough in to realize the world had changed, and there would be no going back.
No caps.
2003 had been mostly about the build-up to the Iraq War and the subsequent
Oh my God,
fallout.
S Club 7.
But 2004 brought with it a presidential election that would allow for a referendum on the U.S.-led invasion.
Oh my God, Jib Jab. Oh my God, we owe that man an apology. That man got chased out of politics for the rest of his life because he got too excited. Howard Dean. We need to owe that man an apology.
At the same
that is
time, it would also see the birth of a social networking site that would change how we all relate to each other online, one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history, and a World Series that the people of Boston would never stop talking about. So, we're going to take you through the news, culture, sports, entertainment, and all that was weird in 2004. This is Timeline. And we're going to take you back a nice round 20 years because this one is all about 2004. Now, are you ready to see what happened precisely 1/5 of a century ago?
Step on it.
This is 2004.
Isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta? Uno, dos, cuatro, hit it!
#1 song in the U.S.
Guys. It was like 21 years ago. Right? No. 2004 would be 20 years. Yeah, 2005.
USA on American Top 40 for the 4th week running. Hey Ya by Outkast.
The original run of Casey Kasem's American Top 40 lasted from July 4th, 1970 to January 28th, 1995. But the show was revived 3 years later, and Kasem would continue to count off the hits for America for another 6 years. On January 3rd, however, Kasem would say goodbye for the last time, handing over hosting duties to American Idol host Ryan Seacrest.
Rather than feeling sad about leaving American Top 40, I'm happy having done what I did.
On January 4th, NASA took one giant leap for mankind when they safely and successfully landed the Spirit rover on the surface of Mars. Spirit would touch down 3 weeks before its twin, Opportunity, landed on the other side of the planet. Originally planned to be a 90-day mission, Spirit would ultimately stay mobile for 1,944 days and operational for 2,269 days.
I'm Garth Marenghi, author, Dreamweaver.
I'm Dr. Sanchez. You're a woman.
Yes, I hope that's not a problem.
Not at all. There's plenty of scat on the wall. This is the 20th century after all, though some don't like to admit it. Welcome to Dark Place, Liz.
The My Doom computer worm targeted computers running Microsoft Windows, and it was first detected in North America on January 26th. True to its name, it quickly became the single fastest spreading email worm up until that point in history. Presenting as a poorly written email that was routinely disregarded as spam, My Doom would ultimately infect over 500,000 computers around the world.
Doom is a fun game.
Its creator remains unknown to this day. And that same day, Hamid Karzai, president of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, signed the nation's new constitution into law. Drafted to establish a new government after the U.S.-led invasion drove the Taliban from power, the Constitution provided for an elected National Assembly and president. At least it did for 17 years. The U.S. withdrew its military presence from the country completely in September of 2021. And as the withdrawal approached, the Taliban launched an offensive. The nation's security forces quickly collapsed, and the new government and its constitution was terminated on August 15, 2021, when the Taliban took power. February 1st brought Super Bowl 38, but it...
Oh my God. You know what's the funniest thing ever? Is that I missed this moment because I was grounding. Like, right before the halftime show, I don't remember what happened, but my parents sent me to my room with no TV. And then this shit happened. I'm so mad.
It was the halftime show starring Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake that everyone would be talking about the next day. That's because during a performance of Rock Your Body, Timberlake pulled off part of Jackson's outfit, exposing her right breast.
He was to take and rip the piece off, but more came off than what was supposed to.
The crackdown on indecency in broadcasting. If you've seen The Social Network, then you know that when Mark Zuckerberg first launched Facebook on February 4th, it was called The Facebook. Originally limited to students at Harvard University, the Facebook would prove incredibly popular and quickly expand to other colleges.
What is the Facebook exactly?
It's an online directory that connects people through universities and colleges through their social networks there. Make a profile about yourself by answering some questions, and most importantly, who your friends are.
And by 2006, it would be open to pretty much anyone. On February 10th, Kanye West's debut studio album, The College Dropout, dropped to mass acclaim. The album diverged from mainstream hip-hop at the time and touched on more thought-provoking subjects such as racism, religion, and the need for higher education. It also told the story of Kanye's near-fatal accident in 2002 through the track Through the Wire.
The music on this CD, I was only the vessel for this. God was in the studio with me. This was my healing process. This was my rehabilitation CD.
You one of my favorite artists, man. You gonna make it, and when you make it, keep the same perspective.
The album's success skyrocketed Kanye into stardom, and he remains one of the most famous and controversial recording artists to this day.
It's Aunt Em, darling.
Well, she seems all right now.
We kind of thought she was gonna leave us.
But I did leave, and I tried to get back for days. You just had a bad dream.
Sure. Remember me?
Oh, but it wasn't a dream. Only you were blue, and you were red, and you were yellow. You were all in color, and all so beautiful. Oh, it was a lot better.
Help the M&Ms find their colors.
On February 12th, San Francisco Mayor...
What an excellent marketing strategy. Same-sex marriage is... Wait, same-sex license is issued?
Gavin Newsom directed the city clerk's office to begin issuing marriage licenses for same-sex couples.
Civil unions is separate and fundamentally unequal. But the fact that we moved that
Gavin
far so quickly...
Newsom. Man, gruesome Newsom. Sometimes I hate this man, but the other part of me, I'm like, okay, that was base.
It's remarkable.
When challenged in court, the California Supreme Court overruled Newsom's directive, instructing that clerks had to issue licenses according to existing laws. The roughly 4,000 licenses that had been issued were voided. But later legal challenges saw that California Supreme Court in 2008 determined that the state constitution provided for legal same-sex marriage. After being elected as California's lieutenant governor in 2010 and serving in that office for 8 years, Newsom was elected governor on November 6, 2018. And on March 1st, Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh's accomplice, Terry Nichols, was convicted in federal court of 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter and conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction. He would also later be convicted in state court of 161 counts of first-degree murder. While McVeigh was sentenced to death, however, Nichols was instead sentenced to life imprisonment.
What do you think's worse? Like for the two of them, like, do you think like, okay, I'm gonna die is better or worse than like thinking about your consequences for the rest of your life? Also, I believe in rehabilitation, just so everybody knows.
And the following day, Yeah by Usher hit #1 on the Billboard charts. Released less than a month earlier, the track, which featured Lil Jon and Ludacris, would stay in that position for 12 weeks and finish the year as the #1 single on Billboard's Hot 100.
So good.
Also on March 2nd, the Indianapolis Colts would sign their soon-to-be iconic quarterback Peyton Manning
Isn't it 2004?
to a 7-year, $98 million deal, with a signing bonus just shy of $35 million. It was, at the time, the largest financial offer ever made to play in the NFL.
I'm 50-50 on which one would be worse. Cringe. I got some cringe stuff. I might interrupt for a second. To do Just like one or two things that I think you need to see that are like a little bit outside of 2004, but I think it would be really good for you to see.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Time the Cake just subscribed for 31 months. I am still here and will stay here to support you.
I love you, Tim. Thank you so much. You're the best. I can't believe it's been... Wait. How many months are in a year? 50? No. Ah, never mind. It's been so long. I meant to cringe to me saying, imagine being 2004. I mean, you're cringe no matter what. 2 years and 7 months.
I mean, why are we out here, in this canyon? Yeah. What all this stuff about God? Nothing. You want to talk about it? No. You sure? Yeah. Seriously, though, why are we out here? As far as I can tell, it's just a box canyon in the middle of nowhere, with no way in or out. The only reason that we set up a red base here is because they have a blue base over there. And the only reason they have a blue base over there is because we have a red base here. Yeah, that's because we're fighting each other. No, but I mean, even if we were to pull out today, and they were to come take our base, they would have two bases in the middle of a box canyon. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
What's up with that anyway? I mean, I signed on to fight some aliens. Next thing I know, Master Chief blows up the whole Covenant Armada, and I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere, fighting a bunch of blue guys.
What are they doing?
What?
I said, what are they doing now?
God damn, I'm getting so sick of answering that question.
You have fucking rifle. I can't see shit. Don't bitch at me because I'm not going to just sit up here and play with my dick.
Okay, look. They're just standing there and talking, okay?
Red vs. Blue, yes, iconic early 2000s YouTube.
That's all they're doing. That's all they ever do is just stand there and talk. That's what they were doing last week.
My friend and I crashed our school network with Red vs. Blue downloading QuickTime videos.
That's what they were doing when you asked me 5 minutes ago. So 5 minutes from now, when you ask me, what are they doing? My answer is going to be, they're still just talking, and they're still just standing there. What are they talking about? You know what? I fucking hate you. Talk about a waste of resources. I mean, we should be out there finding new and intelligent forms of life. You know, fight them.
Yeah, no shit. That's why they should put us in charge.
Ladies! Front and center on the double!
Sarge.
Fuck. Yes, sir.
Yep, that's Rooster Teeth. Iconic, iconic, iconic. You might know them from such hits as Ruby. That's all I really know. They used to have other stuff, but this is what Cockbite, yeah. Alright. What else do I want to show you guys?
I'm Allison. I'm 19.
I don't know. I this might be a little too cringe for me. We'll go back to this for a minute. Till I'm
Year as the #1
Let me feel a
single
little spicier, and then we'll see if I can tolerate getting through next.
on Billboard's Hot 100.
I have the first 4 seasons signed by Jeff and Matt. That's incredible.
Also on March 2nd, the Indianapolis Colts would sign their soon-to-be iconic quarterback Peyton Manning to a 7-year,
Fish isn't open.
$98
Hold on.
million.
I owe you a fish. Hopefully it doesn't crash everything. It will have to close when I run Medal of Honor, though. Oh. Should work. Try it again. Blue gets timed out so much. He's the only one. But that's why we have a little thing for him. It's the only inside joke that's tolerated in this community. The whole cult building thing I didn't like. But timing Blue out is funny. He likes it. I think it's great. It's a great way to educate people on what happens when you talk shit. Okay. Anyway. Okay, cool. Fishing works again.
$1 million deal, with a signing bonus just shy of $35 million. It was, at the time, the largest financial offer ever made to play in the NFL. In the early hours of March 11th, the terrorist group Al-Qaeda would carry out a coordinated bombing attack against the Cercanías commuter train system local to Madrid in Spain. The two nearly simultaneous explosions, which constituted the deadliest terror attacks ever carried out in the country, would kill 193 people and injure over 2,000. And in an effort to save lives, on March 29th, the Republic of Ireland became the first country in the world to ban smoking in all workplaces, including bars and restaurants.
We all know that smoking is not good for you.
I love that. Ireland consistently ahead of the curve on progressive policies. I look to Ireland for guidance on how I can be better.
We don't advocate smoking as publicans as such.
Yeah, Ireland been winning. Same-sex marriage was legalized like super early. I think they got weed there, like or at least medical marijuana. Like they've been pro-Palestine the entire time. Like they man, they could get it. They could get it any day.
But we advocate choice.
The rest of the world took note, and today, the World Health Organization counts 74 countries that have adopted similar bans. Given that it was April Fool's Day, it's understandable that when Google announced Gmail to the world, most people thought it was a prank. The fact that the company made the proclamation in a humorously worded press release didn't help matters either. But as we know now, Gmail was very real. Today, it is the world's largest email provider with over 1.2 billion users. Take that, Hotmail.
So you agree? What? You think you're really pretty? Oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Oh, my mom made it for me.
It's adorable.
Oh, it's so fetch.
What is fetch?
Oh, it's like slang from England.
On April 22nd, U.S. Army Ranger Pat Tillman was killed in action in Afghanistan. A professional football player for the NFL's Arizona Cardinals, Tillman enlisted after the terror attack of September 11, 2001, and became the subject of much media attention. Though he was originally reported as being killed by the enemy, it would later be revealed that Tillman was the victim of friendly fire.
By making up these false stories, you're diminishing their true heroism. Everyone should understand what's going on, and we shouldn't be allowed to have smoke screens thrown in our face.
Then, on April 29th, after 106 years of production, the last car Oldsmobile would ever build rolled off the assembly line at a plant in Michigan.
It is the final Alero. It is also the final Oldsmobile.
The car was signed by the factory workers before being placed on display at a local transportation museum. And on April 30th, the television news magazine show 60 Minutes 2 reported that American soldiers had been abusing and sexually humiliating Iraqi prisoners at Abu Ghraib, the largest American military prison in Iraq.
What, if any, action is being taken against the interrogators?
I hope that investigation is including not only the people that actually committed the crimes, but some of the people might have encouraged these crimes as well.
Accompanied by graphic photos backing up these charges, the story disturbed Americans and the world at large, helping turn public sentiment against the war.
I just realized what's wrong with my costume, guys. No, wait. Skater was over the neck. Punk was under the collar. Never mind. We're good.
We love these songs! Songs are $1 off when you bring in a coupon!
You couldn't do this nowadays. People would be like, but the chinchilla is actually representing like this type of person, and the guy, the hamster in the hat is Napoleon, and that's a like, you couldn't do this anymore. What mastermind made that commercial there? I know, right? See, this is why I get Gen Z humor so much, because I relate to it. The whole like still image air horn, like extra overexposed, gradient turned up, like that is my jam. By the gods, this is magnificent.
Quiznos.
Here, I'll play it so it's uninterrupted.
Songs are $1. We love these songs. Songs are $1 off when you bring in a coupon. The Quiznos songs.
Quiznos.
I believe they are out of business.
Toasty.
Adios, arrivederci, au revoir. Take 1, 5 cameras. Common.
After 10 years and 236 episodes, the beloved NBC sitcom Friends aired its series finale on May 6th.
This is harder than I thought it would be.
Over 51 million viewers tuned in to say goodbye to Ross, Monica, Chandler, Rachel, Phoebe, and Joey, although it didn't draw as many viewers as the...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they closed down. Also, I'm gonna have to close fishing. I'm getting warnings all over OBS. That's like the only thing I can close right now. I don't think I got anything wrong. No. Okay. Yeah, I think Quiznos went out of business sometime around 2010, 2012.
Cheers or Seinfeld finales, the 6-time Emmy winner was every bit the cultural phenomenon and turned all 6 of its leads into stars.
Okay, should we get some coffee?
Sure. Where?
And Friends wasn't the only sitcom juggernaut to say goodbye in 2004, because after 11 years on the air and 37 Emmys for its cast and production, Frasier also signed off for good.
Good night, Seattle.
A spin-off of Cheers, the psychiatry-centric Seattle set show, which starred Kelsey Grammer as Dr. Frasier Crane, lasted even longer than the series that spawned it. But even though he had already played Frasier for 20 years, Kelsey Grammer wasn't done yet. And almost 2 full decades after Frasier ended, Frasier returned in a reboot that streams on Paramount Plus and is currently in its 2nd season.
Hello, Frasier.
Lilith. Dear God. Who looked in the mirror and said your name 3 times?
I got a
Oh my god, he would be such a good voice actor.
proposition for you. We could take the funk. We'll be the family funk.
What, we can get out on dry land and get out of this place?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's do it. Let's move. Come on.
Just one condition.
What?
That you take my sweet hand in marriage.
Oh, God.
And Randy Johnson, 24 up, 24 down.
Sports history was made on May 18th when Arizona Diamondbacks ace Randy Johnson became only the 17th pitcher in Major League Baseball history and the 7th in National League history to throw a perfect game.
Swing and a miss, and Randy Johnson, at 40 years young, has thrown a perfect game.
The win came at the expense of the Atlanta Braves, who took the 2-0 loss in front of their home crowd in Atlanta.
I'm Peppa Pig.
George wants to jump into the big puddle first.
Stop, George. I must check if it's safe for you. Good. It is safe for you.
For most people, winning on Jeopardy would be a huge deal. But for software developer Ken Jennings, the big deal was winning 74 times in a row.
Who is Tyrone Power?
Correct. Jennings' streak, which came shortly after the show had dropped its long-standing rule limiting winners to 5 appearances, began on June 2nd and didn't end until November 30th. Following the death of Alex Trebek on November 8th, 2020, producers announced Ken Jennings would be the first in a series of guest hosts who would help keep the show running while a permanent host was found.
Like all Jeopardy fans, I miss Alex very much. I thank him for everything he did for all of us.
That new permanent host would eventually turn out to be Jennings himself, who became the sole holder of the job in 2023, after sharing the title for several seasons with Mayim Bialik. And on June 5th, Ronald Reagan...
Big Bang Theory, but she's like a mathematician or a scientist.
40th President of the United States died at his Bel Air home after a decade-long battle with Alzheimer's disease. A state funeral service and National Day of Mourning would be held on June 11th. And his casket was ultimately interred at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in California. Developed by Mojave Aerospace Ventures without a dime of government money, Spaceship One became the first privately funded vehicle to achieve spaceflight on June 21st. Funding for the ship was provided by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, who chipped in somewhere in the neighborhood of $25 million to complete the project. Then on July 1st, legendary actor Marlon Brando finally lost his battle with lung cancer and passed away at the age of 80. Known for his appearances in films like The Wild One and The Godfather,
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Brando's career on the silver screen
Got some odd stuff in her life, yeah.
spanned 6 decades and earned him 2 Academy Awards.
If you had the Academy Awards night to do over again, would you do any of that differently?
I felt that it was a marvelous opportunity for an Indian to be able to voice his opinion to 85 million people.
Boy, that escalated quickly. Brick killed a guy.
Yeah, there were horses and a man on fire, and I killed a guy with a trident.
Lay low for a while, because you're probably wanted for murder.
And Martha Stewart was still alive, but probably wished she were dead when she was sentenced to 5 months in prison for lying to federal investigators in connection with an insider trading scandal.
She's back now. She's back and she's doing great. She's got her own line of Bic lighters with Snoop Dogg.
Today is a shameful day. It's shameful for me and for my family and for my beloved company.
Despite the blow to her reputation and image, however, Stewart was able to bounce back after completing her sentence and continues her successful businesses.
Your car's in the parking lot. Here are your keys.
Did you realize what the hell we had to go through after you took the car?
Yeah, that's why I'm paying for your meal. Here's $50 for the burgers and $200 for the car.
What happened to my car?
I made some love stains in the back seat.
August 13th brought the start of the 2004 Summer Olympics, which were held in Athens, Greece, the original birthplace of the Games, and the site of the first modern Games. By the time it ended on August 29th, over 11,000 athletes had competed in 37 disciplines across 28 sports. American swimmer Michael Phelps ultimately wound up on top of the medals table with 6 gold and 2 bronze.
I realize I love you, but as long as...
Are we still in 2004?
With Jessica, there can never be anything between
Listen,
us.
Cassie, there's no need to cry. Besides, I've got really great news.
You're leaving Jessica.
No. I just saved a load of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. I saved.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
On August 22nd, in broad daylight,
I wish I had been gifted with that much acting skill. That was beautiful. Oh, hell yeah, he saved.
Two masked gunmen burst into the Munch Museum in Oslo, Norway. While the terrified staff and guests looked on helplessly, the intruders stole the famous paintings The Scream and Madonna. However, in May of 2006, 3 men would be convicted of the theft. The paintings would be recovered that August, only slightly worse for the wearer.
Nobody's gonna go out with me. I don't even have any good skills.
What do you mean?
You know, like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
Aren't you pretty good at drawing, like, animals and warriors and stuff?
Probably the best that I know of.
On September 1st, a group of armed terrorists seized control of a school in the town of Beslan, North Ossetia, located in the North Caucasus region of Russia. The terrorists operated on behalf of a Chechen warlord who wanted to force Russia to recognize the independence of Chechnya. But on September 3rd, Russian forces moved in to retake the school, resulting in explosions and gunfights that ultimately took the lives of 344 people, 186 of which were children. Baseball history was made on September 15th when San Francisco Giants outfielder Barry Bonds hit his 700th career home run.
Bonds hits one to left center field. Let's go back. Number 700.
While Bonds
Do you remember the guy who caught the ball and gave the team the home run and the Cubs lost the game?
Bonds' achievements would later be
That was
greatly
funny.
overshadowed by his complicity in the steroid scandals. The feat still put the slugger in an extremely exclusive club, which at the time included only Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron. After the master tapes to what would have been their 7th studio album were stolen, pop-punk band Green Day wrote a whole new album from scratch. American Idiot dropped in the U.S. on September 21st and is still widely regarded as the group's masterpiece.
And the Grammy goes to American Idiot, Green Day.
Would have been cool if his jersey number was 07. Why?
Nominated for 7 Grammys, it took home Rock Album of the Year and is now considered one of the most important rock albums of its era.
Yes.
10 years later, Green Day would give its regards to Broadway in the form of the American Idiot Rock Musical. Originally developed at the Berkeley Repertory Theater in California, the show, co-written by Green Day's Billy Joe Armstrong, would
Look, the hair goes like up and forward. His last name is Bond. Oh.
run for 422 performances and win 2 Tony Awards. The fall brought with it 2 massively popular TV shows.
Please, someone come. The others, they're dead.
It's a distress call. Plea for help, a mayday. It's been playing over and over for 16 years.
I was laid to rest on a Monday. After the funeral, all the residents of Wisteria Lane came to pay their respects.
You know what I hate? Weeds. They just pop up out of nowhere and you have to work so hard to get rid of them.
I find with the right chemicals, you can get rid of almost anything.
On October 10th, the world lost a Superman with the death of actor Christopher Reeve, famous for playing the Man of Steel in a series of 4 movies starting in 1978. Paralyzed in a horseback riding accident 9 years earlier, Reeves, still widely regarded as the definitive cinematic Superman, ultimately died of heart failure at the age of 52.
Thank you. Oh, no, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please. Please call. Do not sabotage me. If you want to be a f***ing lightweight, then that's your call, but do not sabotage me.
Oh, aye, Captain, you got it.
And if they want to drink Merlot, we're drinking Merlot.
Oh, no, if anybody orders Merlot, I'm leaving. I am not drinking any f***ing Merlot!
On October 23rd, pop star Ashley Simpson was set to perform live on
Oh my god, this was the biggest deal. Cause like, okay, everybody I knew was like, Ashley Simpson is just trying to be her sister, but Avril Lavigne, and it's not good. And it wasn't.
SNL to promote her debut album, Autobiography. Due to a medical problem with her voice, her label encouraged her to perform on pre-recorded tracks.
Ashley Simpson is worried about her losing her voice.
The first song went smoothly, but when the second performance began, the wrong pre-recorded vocals were accidentally played. The infamously awkward moment ended with Simpson doing a little jig and walking off stage, and her music career never recovered.
No.
What can I say? Live TV.
Exactly. I feel so bad my band started playing the
wrong song, and I know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown.
Multiple generations of Red Sox fans lived and died in the 86 years between the team's World Series victories in 1918 and the one they won on October 29th, finally vanquishing the mythical Curse of the Bambino, alleged to plague the team ever since team owner Harry Frazee traded away Babe Ruth.
Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
The Red Sox beat the St. Louis Cardinals in just 4 games.
I think everyone should aspire to, like, if the loss of you would mean someone else would be cursed for 86 years, I think you should be that kind of person, you know? Where, like, you not being able to deal with the situation. I don't know. I just feel like everybody should be, like, aimed to be like a Babe Ruth. Never mind.
The 55th quadrennial presidential election in the United States was between incumbent George W. Bush and his Democratic challenger, Massachusetts Senator John Kerry. The sitting president would ultimately win both the electoral and popular vote on November 2nd.
The voters turned out in record numbers and delivered an historic victory.
On November 9th, only months after turning in the manuscripts for the 3 books that would come to be known as the Millennium Trilogy, Swedish author Stieg Larsson tragically died of cardiac arrest at the age of 50. Those books, The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, chronicled the adventures of journalist Mikael Blomqvist and hacker Lisbeth Salander, and would all go on to be international bestsellers. The highly anticipated Nintendo DS hit stores in North America on November 21st.
DS has a much larger and more relevant meaning. Developer's system. In creating DS, we've given the world's most talented game makers new ways to express their imaginations.
Pre-orders for the foldable handheld gaming system had been so high, the company had to devote an entire additional factory to their manufacture to keep up with demand. To date, all models of the DS have sold over 150 million units, making it the best-selling portable gaming system of all time, and the second best-selling...
It was so convenient. It fit in your pocket. It had a background light. It played almost any game you wanted. It was peak. It was peak, okay? I think, high-key, the DS is better than any gaming console ever. The DS was such a game changer. Yeah, it was great. It was great. The fact that you could communicate to your friends. The advanced SP was so good. The SP was pretty incredible. I had one in bright red, in the metallic red, and another one in the silver. Yeah, but then the DS worked with both. Yeah, exactly. You could play the PSP games or the PSP games or the Game Boy Advance games. My first DS was a bundle with Pokemon Soul Silver. Oh, such a good console.
System in history, behind only the PS2. Though it was initially announced way back in 2001, World of Warcraft didn't arrive until November 23rd. Set in the Warcraft fantasy universe, the massively multiplayer online role-playing game was a hit with critics and fans, quickly becoming the most successful MMORPG of all time. By 2014,
oh my god, I missed out. I had a Game Boy Pocket and then got a Nintendo system. Yeah, the DS was so good. And you could like draw little pictures and send it to your friends. And like when they did the street passes, oh my god, that was so good. I love doing the street passes. It was such a good way to like make little friends on your way and to like, your screen is so dirty. Ew.
it would have over 100 million accounts, and by 2017, it would earn over $9 billion. Located near Millau, France, the Millau Viaduct stands at 1,104 feet above ground level and is still, to this day, the highest bridge in the world. Initially projected to open in January of the following year, the bridge was completed ahead of schedule. It was inaugurated on December 14th and officially opened on December 16th.
Wow.
At approximately 8 a.m. local time on December 26th, a massive undersea earthquake struck the Indian Ocean, just off the west coast of northern Sumatra in Indonesia. The quake then caused a tsunami with waves over 100 feet high. Coastal communities in the area were absolutely devastated, and nearly 228,000 people in 14 countries were killed. To date, it is still the single deadliest natural disaster of the 21st century. Rounding out the year with another colossal piece of construction, the Taipei 101 skyscraper located in Taipei, Taiwan, opened its doors as the then tallest building in the world on New Year's Eve. The Taipei 101 stands at a height of 1,670 feet tall, but it only held the crown for a few short years, relinquishing the top spot to the Burj Khalifa when it completed construction in 2010.
That's too tall. If I look up your building and I get anxiety, it's too tall for me.
Owned by the Taipei Financial Center Corporation, the building still remains the tallest building in Taiwan and the 11th tallest building on Earth. And that's how 2004 ended, with Bush back in the White House, Southeast Asia reeling from an unprecedented natural disaster, and everyone else wondering what was in the hatch on Lost. Weird as things were, we had finally reached the middle of the decade. But that's for next year. Coming soon, 2005.
I came here and protected the animals as best I could. In fact, I'm the only protection for these animals out here.
Grizzly Man is the best movie ever. Oh my god. I know we've watched it before, but we may have to do it again as a movie night. I freaking love Grizzly Man. It is so good. For those who don't know, it's the story of Timothy Treadwell, who makes friends with bears and then dies from being attacked by a bear. It's wonderful. It's so good. He got eaten. He got.
2005, smack dab in the middle of the new millennium.
And the audio had to be destroyed, yeah.
The year finally brought us the future we were promised. Flying cars, laser guns, and human beings mingling with alien species. Or maybe that was just in the movies.
His girlfriend got too. She did, and that sucks. I love the movie because of the way the story is told. I love the narrator, and I love their editing style. I think it's a very well done documentary. That's so good.
You think you've got problems?
Okay, so maybe 2005 didn't take humanity to a real-life galaxy far, far.
I wish there were like movies that came out that people were excited to dress up for again. Like I remember like people would dress up all the time to go to like, well, when Marvel movies first started coming out, they dress up for that, or like Star Wars, or like I did Scott Pilgrim. But like you don't really see that nowadays. There's like nothing to like have fun with.
Away.
Together, you and I can rule the galaxy.
It did, however, bring the world all sorts of thrilling events. The year was jam-packed with pop culture touchstones, from the premieres of iconic sitcoms to the release of genre-defining albums. The internet was abound with new and exciting websites.
2005 was a banger year, guys.
And civil rights were progressing in a big way. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows behind these hazel eyes in the year 2005. Natural disasters and terrorists took the
I'd dress up for a Fallout movie. I'd dress up for a Fallout game if it came out on disc at my local GameStop.
lives of thousands across the globe.
But it would have to be a midnight premiere.
And over 4 million people traveled to the Vatican to mourn the passing of a pope. And through it all, we were collectively watching to see whether Jim was finally going to tell Pam how he felt. Today, we're going to talk about the news, culture, sports, entertainment, and all that was weird in 2005. This is Timeline. All right, we're taking you to the candy shop because this is 2005. Now, do you feel God in this Chili's tonight? The year started off with a triumph over a tragedy that
I feel like Fallout 5 will be digital only. Yeah, I agree. Which sucks.
Occurred 4 decades earlier. American Ku Klux Klan organizer Edgar Ray Killen was arrested for the murders of 3 civil rights workers. The crimes, which occurred in 1964, were a high-profile event at the time, but several of the men involved, including Killen, escaped punishment. The victims, James Chaney, Michael Schwerner, and Andrew Goodman, finally saw justice when Killen was convicted in 2005 and sentenced to 60 years in the Mississippi State Penitentiary. However, he would not serve his full sentence. In January of 2018, Edgar Ray Killen passed away at the age of 92. Killen had only served around 13 years in prison, which is less than a quarter of his 60-year sentence. Just 20 days later, Condoleezza Rice was sworn in as the U.S. Secretary of State, making her the first African-American woman to hold the position in the history of the country.
Colin Powell leaves big shoes to fill at the State Department. Condi Rice is the right person to fill them.
Now it's time to build on those achievements to make the world safer and even more free.
After earning several advanced degrees in political science, Dr. Rice served under both the Reagan and Bush administrations throughout the 1980s and early 90s. But it was her stint with George W. in the 2000s that finally earned her the prized Secretary of State title. Under Prime Minister Paul Martin, the Civil Marriage Act was introduced to the House of Commons of Canada on the 1st of February 2005.
The people of Canada have worked hard to build a country that opens its doors to include all, regardless of their differences.
The bill effectively legalized gay marriage across the country and started a bit of a trend, since just a few months later, Spain followed in the footsteps of their friends in the Great White North. On the last day of June, the Spanish Parliament voted to equalize gay marriage and eliminate all distinctions between same-sex and heterosexual unions. The campaign for same-sex marriage had actually begun a year earlier under the newly elected Prime Minister José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero, who was able to see his hard work come to fruition and be re-elected in 2008. After years of inquiry on the part of the United States, North Korea publicly confirmed that it does, in fact, possess nuclear weapons. According to a statement made by the state-run Korean Central News Agency, North Korea manufactured...
Wait, was that North Korea? In the...
Statement made by the state-run Korean Central News Agency, North Korea manufactured nukes for self-defense to cope with the Bush administration's ever more undisguised policy to isolate and stifle the North. In other words, they claimed they were just keeping up with the Joneses. Or would that be Bushes?
Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles announced their engagement this week.
Isn't it joyous? I mean, just look at this vision.
That same day, Charles, Prince of Wales, announced his engagement to the soon-to-be Queen Consort, Camilla Parker Bowles. After the divorce and eventual untimely death of Princess Diana in the late 90s, the British public speculated on the nature of Charles and Bowles' relationship. You couldn't have chosen a more romantic announcement day, Charles? Valentine's Day was just 4 days away.
So when's the date?
April 8th, and it can't come soon enough. And when she lifts her veil, the entire audience will gasp.
Yes, they will gasp. Right.
Speaking of which, love must have been in the air on Valentine's Day, because the internet was about to find itself a new main squeeze in a budding website called YouTube.
A lot of people want to go to the website and actually view the video in a player, so...
How much?
Free.
Who's paying for the bandwidth? That's amazing.
Not us.
Founders Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawed Karim were former employees of PayPal. Although the site went live on the 14th, the first video wouldn't be uploaded for another 2 months. On April 23rd, Jawed Karim uploaded a video to his fledgling video sharing website titled Me at the Zoo.
I made my YouTube account, I think 3 to 4 months after it went live. Wow. I didn't make my first YouTube account until probably 2006, 2007.
Which is exactly what it sounds like. The 19-second clip.
I would say pretty early on. I would probably say maybe 2006. That's when I started to get real big in anime. My friends and I had parkour vids we wanted to upload. That's so awesome.
Features Karim standing in front of the elephant enclosure at the San Diego Zoo, talking about how cool it is that elephants have long trunks.
And that's pretty much all there is to say.
So nothing's really changed as far as YouTube videos are concerned.
I don't think they're on there.
Check card.
Read my lips. If your Visa check card's lost or stolen, you're not liable for fraudulent
How much do you think they paid for that?
charges.
And all that money will be put back in your
Like the licensing.
checking account. Sheesh. Signing with a Visa check card is super safe.
Steve Fawcett made history the following month after becoming the first person to fly an airplane around the world by himself without stopping to refuel. Fawcett was a fellow of the Royal Geographical Society and the American-based Explorers Club, who liked to sail and fly hot air balloons in addition to being an accomplished pilot.
There's a great romance to flying around the world and doing it faster than anybody else has done it in that medium.
The journey around the world in the Virgin Atlantic Global Flyer, surprisingly, did not take 80 days. It took 67 hours and 2 minutes to complete and spanned a distance of 40,234 kilometers, or about 25,000 miles. Michael Eisner stepped down as the Walt Disney Company CEO after a 21-year tenure. He was succeeded by then-president and COO Bob Iger.
Who is now back in charge of Disney.
Iger would serve as the company's chief executive officer for 15 years until his contract ended in February 2020. He would be replaced by a different Bob Chapek. But as it turns out,
I was going to say, Bob Iger is back.
but he wasn't done. After an embarrassingly short stint as the head of the company, Bob Chapek stepped down as Disney's CEO, and Iger assumed the crown once again, which we assume is just one of those expensive Mickey Mouse hats that they sell at the theme parks.
It's with great sadness that Terry Schiavo has passed away.
After a cardiac arrest left her with severe brain damage in 1990, Terry Schiavo subsequently spent the next 15 years comatose. In 1998, Schiavo's husband and guardian petitioned to have her feeding tube removed, but was refused by Schiavo's parents, who had the petition struck down.
Please, please save my little girl.
The story sparked controversy once it broke the news, and stirred up conversations about consent and guardianship of comatose patients. Schiavo's husband would ultimately win the battle. His wife's feeding tube was removed on March 18, 2005, and she died less than 2 weeks later on March 31st. The Ides of March saw the debut of some major TV shows.
People say I am the best boss. They go, God, we've never worked in a place like this before.
Made living wills a household combo, yeah.
Or you're hilarious. I think that pretty much sums it up. I found it at Spencer Gifts.
If you want orders, follow this one. Kill yourself.
Daleks must survive!
The Daleks have failed! Why don't you finish the job and make the Daleks extinct? Rid the universe of your filth! Why don't you just die?
You would make a good Dalek.
And which brings me to rule number 3. If I'm sleeping, don't wake me unless your patient is actually dying. Rule number 4, the dying patient better not be dead when I get there. Not only will you have killed someone, you would have woke me for no good reason. We clear?
Michael rents The Devil Wears Prada on DVD through the mail. Oh, man.
Yes.
You said 5 rules. That was only 4.
Rule number 5, when I move, you move.
The month of April started off tragically as Pope John Paul II died.
I do kind of miss that.
Fittingly, on the 2nd, over 4 million people would flock to the Vatican over the course of his funeral and the 9 days of observed mourning by the Catholic Church. The Huffington Post.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss physical media. Actually, someone I know just dropped off a bunch of DVDs to me, and like a bunch of them were like Disney movies. One was Mrs. Doubtfire. There was Pearl Harbor. There's a bunch of good stuff. Goonies, and like I just like having the physical media.
Started its life as an online commentary outlet and blog on May 9th. Founded by its namesake Ariana Huffington, Andrew Breitbart, Kenneth Lehrer, and Jonah Peretti, the site aimed to provide an alternative to other news aggregators. After 30 years of persistent mystery, former FBI Assistant Director Mark Felt was revealed as Watergate informant Deep Throat in a Vanity Fair article. As the unidentified Deep Throat, Felt leaked key information.
Like, what I think I like most about it is that, like, if the internet goes down, or if, like, I don't know, I want to watch a movie, but I don't have to freaking rent a streaming service for, like, a month, then, yeah, I want to just watch it on the Xbox or whatever.
Which helped shed light on the Watergate scandal during Nixon's presidency. At the age of 95, 3 years after having admitted to his role as Deep Throat, Mark Felt passed away at his home in his sleep. The world watched as a jury in Santa Maria Court in California acquitted Michael Jackson on charges of child molestation.
We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child.
The alleged victim and cancer survivor, Gavin Arvizo, was 13 at the time Jackson had him and his family at his Neverland Ranch estate in Los Olivos, California. The trial took 4 months to complete and was described as a media circus, with many major news outlets choosing to cover it for full 24-hour rolling cycles.
Yes. Very similar to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial.
N equals what? Josh?
Today we'll be performing a triple Hoffenritter procedure.
But you've never done that before.
That's okay.
Well, OJ made all those spectacles. Yeah, I feel like it did get kind of like, I feel like court cases really became like the center. Court cases have always been the center of media attention in the United States, but I think like it got really kind of like crazy. I don't know. Hard to think.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was an easy button for life? Now there's one for your business. Staples.
Flass knows. He won't talk. He'll talk to me. Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me.
In another big win for the internet, Reddit was founded by Steve Huffman and Alexis Ohanian.
And that's the two of us on the first day of Y Combinator. You'll also notice I had a t-shirt with a mascot that I designed long before we actually built a website. That was dumb, wrong order of operations.
Beginning as the two college roommates side project at the University of Virginia, the online forum is one of the web's most visited sites today. Starting July off right, Pink Floyd's classic lineup reunited one final time to play at Live 8. It had been more than 24 years since frontman Roger Waters, guitarist David Gilmour, drummer Nick Mason, and pianist Rick Wright had taken the stage together. The bandmates put aside years of bad blood to put on the show of a lifetime in front of a crowd of around 200,000 fans. The show became even more meaningful just a few years later when Richard Wright, Pink Floyd's keyboard player, went off to the great gig in the sky in 2008 at just 65 years old.
Reports are just coming in of an explosion at Liverpool Street Station here in London.
The city of London was horrifically targeted by 4 suicide bombings on the morning of July 7th. 3 explosions went off simultaneously in the London Underground at 8:50 a.m.
And then it was just smoke everywhere. In the tunnel, we was trying to close the doors because it was just smoke, we couldn't breathe.
And a 4th later detonated on the upper deck of a bus. All totaled, the attacks took the lives of 52 people and injured hundreds. Similar to the attacks of New York City 4 years earlier, the day has come to be known as 7/7. Across the pond in the Florida Panhandle, Hurricane Dennis made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane on Santa Rosa Island.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Look over there! Look over there!
Anderson Cooper? Anderson Cooper!
Storm decimated the area, creating 87-mile-per-hour winds and producing tornadoes across all of Central Florida. 88 people lost their lives, and the storm caused nearly $4 billion in damages.
Claire's mom just made me grab her Hooters.
Oh my God, wedding
Well, snap out of
crackers.
it.
What were they like anyway? They look pretty good. Are they real? Are they built for speed or for comfort? Motorboat? You motorboating son of a bitch. You old sailor, you.
What is wrong with you?
The Vietnamese believe in something called comprehensive eating. All of the dishes laid out at once so we can appreciate.
This guy, absolutely incredible. 2004, 2005 changed comedy movies forever. Yeah, it really launched a bunch of careers. And, you know, I do think they kind of rode on the greatness of, like, Ben Stiller and stuff. Because, like, but, like, they formed their own kind of comedy thing. Like, they kind of just sprung up out of nowhere. Like, there was, like, Superbad and Wedding Crashers and even Mean Girls. Like, that's kind of a comedy. Like, they're so, like, drastically different. And then, like, old school, Anchorman, 40-Year-Old Virgin. And, like, every one of those little groups also had their own little friends. And they just did what Adam Sandler did. And they just kept making movies with their other friends. And it was just a good time. Zach and Miri make a porno.
Appreciate the appearance and the aroma.
In more rural areas, like the Deep South, the flavors are much more vibrant, much more savory, and the rot gut is much, much meaner.
정말 대견합니다. 두부처럼 하얗게 살라고 다시는 죄짓지 말란 뜻으로 먹는 겁니다.
너나 잘하세요.
After a 36-year-long armed campaign, the Irish Republican Army announced that all units had been ordered to dump arms. While splinter groups continued to fight, formal peace talks with the British government had begun in the late 90s. And by July 28, 2005, the IRA had officially laid down their arms.
I welcome the recognition that the only route to political change lies in exclusively peaceful and democratic means.
Shoot him! Let's shoot him!
Always Sunny, another big contributor.
Charlie, I shot you in your head. I'm so sorry.
You okay?
No, I'm not okay. Shot me in my head. It really hurts. I gotta go to a hospital.
No, I'll call an ambulance.
Bro, the hospital's like 3 blocks away. We should just drive in. I know that, but I don't want to get blood stains all over the interior of my clothes.
After a 2-day hearing in Wichita, Kansas, serial murderer Dennis Rader was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences in prison for the 10 slayings he committed in the 1970s. Known as the BTK killer, Rader would ultimately face down 175 years of jail time.
Do you like to do it yourself?
If the mood strikes.
How is the mood striking you now?
That totally worked. I literally said nothing.
Barely a month after the devastating effects of Hurricane Dennis, Katrina swept over the Gulf Coast as a Category 4 hurricane.
Extremely hard to leave. Your whole life is here, your whole world, and it's hard to decide what's important and what's of value.
Wind speeds reached up to 145 miles per hour, and torrential rains flooded 80% of the city of New Orleans for weeks. All in all, Katrina killed over 1,000 people and caused over $108 billion in damages.
The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Sorry, Michael Myers. Michael Myers' face. I can't. Hold on, I gotta run it back in slow-mo. Oh my god, I'm gonna... Where's the speed? Playback speed.
People of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Look, you can see his eye, like he glazed over right there. He's like, that's not on the teleprompter. I call it a moment in time. I call it America. I dub thee America. This a fundraiser on TV with weather destruction in the background, 2 celebrities asking for money, one of them saying something totally off the cuff while the other just stands there aimlessly. Yeah, this is the most American thing I've ever seen. It's so good. Oh man. Back to normal. Normal. It's the only setting on the... Wait. Normal's only a setting on the dryer. Whoop. Me.
Yeah, the other guys are like starting maybe 6-man?
Right.
Maybe
if
6-man.
Right. Rejected! Don't you...
Before the camera changed the angle, when it was just this, I was like, do I know this YouTuber? Is this gonna be like a YouTuber scandal?
Starting maybe 6-man?
Right.
Maybe 6-man.
Right. Rejected! Don't you bring that weak tot action. You go strong to your mouth or you don't go at all.
Game day food. Nothing goes better with sports than Sonic's extra long cheese coney covered with cheese and meaty chili. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Just 3 days later, a false bomb threat caused a stampede on the Al-Aima Bridge in Baghdad. Over 1 million people were gathered around the Al-Qadimiyya Mosque, and countless were packed on the bridge, crossing the Tigris River. The stampede forced countless people across the bridge and killed almost 1,000 of them on impact, through suffocation or by drowning in the river below. After 19 years of service in the Supreme Court, Chief Justice William Rehnquist passed away at the age of 80. Rehnquist was the 16th Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court and was first appointed by Richard Nixon in 1971. A Danish newspaper called Jyllands-Posten made international headlines on the last day of September after publishing several editorial cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, which was considered controversial to downright blasphemous according to strict Muslim doctrine that forbids visual depictions of the Prophet. Protests and riots broke out the world over, leading to a global conversation about censorship and religious tolerance. Putting an end to the doom and gloom of the summer and early fall of 2005, the NFL kicked off October by playing their first regular game outside the USA.
Important matches in Mexico played there, and you would say, okay, is this actually happening? An NFL professional game is being played here, one that counts.
The Arizona Cardinals beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-14 at Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, and the game boasted 103,467 spectators, the biggest turnout in NFL history at the time. In an event about as important to teenage girls as the first international NFL game was to college kids and middle-aged dads, Stephenie Meyer's first novel in her vampire romance series was published on October 5th. The book, called Twilight, would become a sensation and spawn a series of movies starring Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, an unending cavalcade of merchandise,
Twilight stuff. Heck yes.
and countless parodies.
The true next step from getting Ellen off the air.
Throughout the years.
Your skin is green. You freak out or on fire.
Say it out loud.
Taylor Swift.
Einstein.
3 days later,
had to
the
be
Kashmir
stopped.
earthquake hit Pakistan, India, and parts of Afghanistan. At a magnitude of 7.6, the quake devastated the area and demolished over 32,000 buildings. It killed 86,000 people and injured at least 69,000 more.
Greetings, NASA. It's me, Stephen Colbert, and I just want to congratulate you on a great year. Your dramatic pictures from Cassini, finding water on Mars, though I urge you to never give up on President Bush's bold challenge. Before this decade is out, we must launch a probe to find out if there's oil in heaven.
Saddam Hussein, the deposed president of Iraq, was put on trial in Baghdad for crimes against humanity by the Iraqi interim government on October 19th. His charges, including violent campaigns against the Kurds and Shiites, were laid out on the world stage for all to see. For his part, Hussein maintained he wasn't actually deposed at all and was still the legal president of Iraq. We'll find out how well that worked for him in the next episode.
Watch his hanging because free internet? Yeah.
Civil rights activist Rosa Parks died due to complications with dementia at the age of 92. In honor of her brave protest in the 1950s, where she refused to give up her seat to white passengers in a segregated bus, all buses in the Montgomery area reserved their front seats with black ribbons until she was laid to rest. In another tragic incident, 3 suicide bombers made coordinated attacks on local hotels in Amman, Jordan. 60 people lost their lives, and over 100 more were injured in the explosions. A 4th explosion was set, but the would-be bomber's belt failed to detonate, and she was arrested. Gamers rejoiced when the Xbox 360 came out in late November, just in time for the kids to start begging for one for Christmas.
This is my Xbox 360. It's here and it's on.
Tech giant Microsoft released their most recent video game console alongside games like Call of Duty 2, NBA 2K6, and Perfect Dark Zero. Yeah, remember that one? Bigger and better in every way than its predecessor.
Caught.
The original Xbox, the 360 sold out immediately across North America and Europe and became one of the most revered home consoles ever produced. That same day, Angela Merkel became the first woman ever sworn in as a German chancellor. Following a tight electoral race and 2 weeks of negotiations, Merkel led the country for 13 years and was frequently called the most powerful woman in the world. Ted Koppel also wanted to make his mark on November 22, 2005. The famed late-night television host officially retired from ABC's Nightline after one final show. He had been the program's host since its inception in 1980 and touched on a whole host of important cultural and political topics, even interviewing Nelson Mandela in 1990.
You've always been very nice to me, so give this new anchor team for Nightline a fair break. If you don't, I promise you the network will just put another comedy show in this time slot.
One day later, another political first caught the attention of the masses. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf won in her electoral race against George Weah to become Liberia's president, making her Africa's first democratically elected female head of state and Liberia's first elected leader after 14 years of civil war.
But you didn't want it, Ennis. So what we got now is Brokeback Mountain. And
Guys, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but this is my wallpaper. My wallpaper on here is just Brokeback Mountain. I love me my gay cowboys. I think they're great. I think what they did was great. Heath Ledger is a great actor. Was a great actor. Phenomenal.
I'm not you. I can't make it on a couple of high altitude once or twice a year. I wish I knew how to quit you.
Stand-up comedian, writer, and actor, Richard Pryor was known for his intimate and subversive work, being heralded by his peers as one of the greatest comics of all time.
This man's a genius. Now who else can take all the forms of comedy, slapstick, satire, mime, and stand-up, and turn it into something that'll offend everyone?
Any comic work in America was influenced by what he's done.
On December 10th, he passed away from a heart attack at his Los Angeles home. But he is survived by a legacy across film and stage that's as relevant today as it was at the height of his career. And with the loss of a comedic legend, 2005 came to a close. Next year, we'll see a similar mix of tragedy and comedy with the death of a beloved Australian zookeeper, the downgrade.
I can't handle that. No. Oh, God. Okay, well, because I don't want to be traumatized for the night after already a bunch of crap happened, let's get into, I almost said Fallout, Medal of Honor. Fair warning, it's going to be loud. There's an update available. Oh, no. Am I not going to be able to run this? How long is it going to take? Oh, it's updated. Okay, well, that was easy. Gonna be loud. Off center.
You're about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill.
I've been playing this all week, dude. I've been dying to get out here so I can play it again. I have to load. I have to remember to turn off silly hats, though, man. I could not kill anything with those submarines in the way. It was ridiculous. For those who don't know, this is Medal of Honor Frontline. I guess I'll turn off rubber grenades, too. To be fair, I don't really need any of these. This is Medal of Honor Frontline. It is a Xbox game, an EA game from the early 2000s, I believe 2004. It is World War II. It's just World War II. It's just Band of Brothers. It's just World War II. But it's all of them before it happened. Okay. I feel like a few of you weren't here the other day, and I was also not doing the best. Okay, fire. Good. I just think I'll do better without, like, the silly hats in the way. As fun as they are. quiet. Oh, look, yeah, there's lag.
Bandit! 9 o'clock! Heads down!
Oh, this is rough, buddy. I hope you guys are holding up okay.
All right, listen up. When the ramp drops, move out. If you get lost, look for me.
R button. HQ button. XLB, right, back YX. Bam! Eventually I'll be able to do it without looking.
10 seconds! Stay with me and we'll get through this.
I also appreciate the
gotta
compass
take that
and
beach.
health bar. I like that it's minimal. Doesn't take up too much of the screen.
Clear the ramp!
Oh yeah.
Patterson, over here! Get over here!
I'm here.
We've got a hell of a mess here. That artillery strike scattered what's left of our squad all over the beach. 4 of our boys are over there. Help them move up the beach to the seawall.
Aye aye, Captain. I mean, yes, Sarge. Oh my god.
Give me some covering fire!
If I can keep this gun straight, jeez. Christmas the vibration. I'm off to go to an appointment with sensory deprivation tag. Oh, have fun. My sensory deprivation. Come on, dude. Later.
I picked out my fire for that bunker. If you can give me some cover fire into the bunker windows, I can make a run for the shingle. Ready when you are. Get over here!
Here.
Give me some cover and I'll get the hell out of here! We can't stay on this beach! Give me some cover! Iverson, get out there and retrieve those Bangalores! guys should give me cover. Stay behind me and keep shooting.
I'm doing the best I can.
Stay with me, Patterson. And watch for fire from those bunkers. Good work, Patterson. All right, Jones, let's fill this fence. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! We've got cover. Let's defilade on the other side. Everybody, over the seawall.
Do I have to actually wait here, or can I just go?
We'll never get inside that bunker unless we lose the 2 machine gun nets guarding it. Patterson, you can make it across that minefield to the turret. You can use it against those nets up there. We'll cover you.
Oh my god. It's trying to do so much. Oh. God, I need the infinite life just to aim. I'm pressing the action button.
Watch out! You earned your pay today, Patterson. Now let's move out.
Gotta turn these off. Gosh, the sensitivity. Oh yeah, I got it. Oh, come on. So dark, I don't need some. Done.
Nein, nach unseren Informationen sind nur noch ein paar hundert übrig. Das sind jetzt aber Tausende am Front. Wer da?
I got him. Ah! Oh. I literally cannot see what's in front of me right now. Cannot see these Nazis. Oh, I don't have grenades. wait till I reload. Yeah, double headshot. My accuracy is gonna be so much better this round.
Das tut gut. Der Tabak.
Ew. You're messing up my accuracy score. Luke, does yours run this slow? You play it, or is it just because I'm on OBS? Like, did yours run this like choppy? Like, mine's like really laggy.
Excellent work, Patterson. This mission was tough, but you proved yourself to be exceptional.
Oh yeah, mine runs a bit too. Okay.
We're replacing you on a special mission. Good luck, Patterson.
June 6, 1944. 175,000 Allied soldiers breached the walls of Fortress Europe through intense German resistance. By late June, Cherbourg had fallen, giving the Allies the port they so desperately needed. By early August, Eisenhower had amassed an Allied army of over 1 million strong. Treacherous field-to-field hedgerow fighting unleashed a breakout across France. With the Germans in full retreat, the Allies marched into Paris. Field Marshal Montgomery moved north into Belgium, while General Patton and the Third Army pushed to the Siegfried Line. It was here that the Allies encountered their newest enemy, the lack of sufficient supply.
I had the same thing on my PC when I ran the original COD. The lighting was dark. I was gonna say, is it bad? Accuracy 18%. I was actually gonna switch back to the video. My head's really hurting. It's not bad exactly, it's just noticeable. It's annoying me. God, I'm in a
Grade of Pluto's planet status, the release of a now iconic mockumentary about a man from Kazakhstan, and so much more. Coming soon, 2006.
High five.
2006. It was the first year of the second half of the first decade of the second millennium, and topping the previous year was going to be tough. 2005 had brought us the birth of YouTube, the return of Doctor Who, and the first Twilight book. Of course, it also brought Hurricane Katrina, an earthquake that claimed over 85,000 people, and the divorce of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. But hey, nobody's perfect. 2006 was going to have a lot to live up to, and at least on some fronts, it would deliver. James Bond would be back with a vengeance. NASA would make some incredible discoveries on...
My Steam Deck has a OLED screen though. No, it's tough for me to see with like even all these lights on right now.
Mars, and we were all about to learn a new trick called tweeting.
It was the greatest magic trick I've ever seen.
So, we're going to take you through the news, culture, sports, entertainment, and all that was weird in 2006. This is Timeline. Someone cue up Gnarls Barkley's Crazy, because this one is all about 2006. Now, are you ready to see what happened the year Pamela Anderson married Kid Rock? We've got all the facts ready to go for you.
I'll sing with her.
Troy Bolton. Where is your sports posse or whatever it's called?
Team.
Ah.
But I'm here alone. Actually, I'm here to sing with her.
Streep?
On January 22nd, the late, great Kobe Bryant would carve his name into the NBA record books when he scored 81 points in a game against the Toronto Raptors.
Kobe Bryant, 28 for 46 from the field. This would be 18 for 20 from the line and an 81-point game.
Bryant's performance would go down as the second highest scoring total in the history of the NBA, behind only Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game against the New York Knicks on March 2nd, 1962. And just 2 days later, on January 24th, the Walt Disney Company announced it had agreed to buy the computer animation film studio Pixar for a whopping $7.4 billion. It's easy to understand why. Disney had been distributing Pixar's films since 1993, and in that time they won 19 Academy Awards and earned more than $3 billion worldwide. Not content with just owning Disney, the Muppets...
Bruh, I hit the circle button and Spider-Man 2 crashed. This game, I swear, just play something else. Just move on, Blue.
which they bought in 2004, and Marvel, which they bought in 2009, the House of Mouse announced on August 30th, 2012, that they were buying Lucasfilm and pretty much everything that came with it, which included the rights to franchises like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Disney paid Lucas over $4 billion for his company, with half paid in cash and half paid in stock, making him one of the corporation's biggest shareholders. After 145
I want to do the simple task of completing a New Game Plus playthrough.
years,
Yeah,
Western Union announced it would be discontinuing its storied telegram service, effective January 27th. Despite the important role it played in the history of communication, use of the telegram declined, especially after long-distance telephone service became cheap in the early 1980s. Email would then prove to be the nail in the telegram's coffin. And on February 11th, U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney was quail hunting at the Armstrong Ranch in South Texas when he accidentally shot 78-year-old attorney Harry Whittington while trying to aim at a bird. Whittington was hit with birdshot in his face, neck, and chest, and suffered a minor heart attack as a result. Amazingly, after getting out of the hospital, Whittington,
Heck with it, I'm playing Metal Gear. Good.
for some reason, apologized to Cheney.
My family and I are deeply sorry for all that Vice President Cheney and his family have had to go through this past week.
I still won't understand it.
This series will take you
Planet
to the
Earth was
last
so
wildernesses and show you the planet and its wildlife as you have never seen them before.
The voice acting, the editing, the scenery, the music, it's such a good series. I love it. I used to fall asleep to the ocean sections all the time.
And on March 6th, Baseball Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett, who went to 2 World Series with the Minnesota Twins in 1987 and 1991, died of a stroke at the age of 45. Puckett had a career batting average of .318.
I got the newest one. I've only played a bit. I've only got 5 hours on it right now. How do you like it so far?
6 Gold Gloves and 10 All-Star Game appearances before his career was tragically cut short by glaucoma.
Awesome.
4 days later, on March 10th, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, arrived at its destination on the 4th planet from the Sun after being launched on August 12, 2005.
Oh.
Over the subsequent decade, the MRO would play a key role in several important discoveries, including the fact that, even today, water still flows seasonally on some areas of the Red Planet.
What you're about to witness is strictly personal. A direct, undiluted, unrehearsed, uncensored interview. My role is that of a reporter.
There was a time when the 7 most feared words in the English language were, "Mike Wallace is here to see you." But that era came to an end on March 14th, when the legendary journalist finally announced.
That's not 4 words. Mike Wallace is here to see you. That's 6 words. It's not a stealthy option, but it makes him fast and looks cool and shiny. Ooh.
Announced his retirement from the news magazine show 60 Minutes. He would continue to work with CBS News as a correspondent emeritus, conducting his final interview in January of 2008. Wallace would die of natural causes on April 7th, 2012.
Now you can be a scientist. Trix Yogurt lets you create your own experiments with crackling crystals. Free and specially marked packs of Trix Yogurt.
It's just Pop Rocks.
And on
It
March
was just
20
Pop Rocks and yogurt.
First, Twitter founder Jack Dorsey sent out the first tweet ever. It said, "Just setting up my Twitter," with Twitter spelled TWTTR, presumably to encourage people to abbreviate in the name of saving precious characters, which were at that point limited to 140. The inaugural message was not anything profound, but it would launch a service that would change the world for decades to come. 16 years later, on
And look at it now. Yeah.
on October 28, 2022, Tesla and SpaceX owner Elon Musk completed his.
It's just every media conglomerate is owned by somebody who loves the president. And now this, like, the government owns TikTok and is directly controlling the algorithm that we see. And they've just said it outright, like out loud. Oh, and here's Elon Tusk. Yeah.
His acquisition
I'm
of
so over
Twitter,
it.
which he would quickly rename X. Musk's leadership of Twitter would prove to be controversial on a number of fronts. And just a year later, he would value the company he paid $44 billion for at a mere $19 billion. And in the early evening of April 2nd, the central United States was hit by a devastating mass outbreak of tornadoes. 66 separate tornadoes would hit across 7 states, including Iowa,
Yeah, it's Twitter.
Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana. The disaster would cause over $1 billion in debt.
It's nothing against them. It's just, you know, I still call Xfinity Comcast, and I still call TD Bank Commerce. I'm not gonna call it X. I'm not gonna respect its pronoun.
Damage and killed 29 people, 26 of which were killed by the same supercell thunderstorm. Then, on April 11th, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad sent a shockwave through the world when he announced that Iran had successfully enriched uranium for the first time. Ahmadinejad assured a skeptical international community that Iran would not be building nuclear weapons, but would continue to pursue other peaceful industrial uses of nuclear power. And on April 16th, actor Colin Farrell, then
I will dead name that app. Yeah, 100%.
famous for his appearances in movies like Minority Report and Daredevil, reached a confidential settlement with his ex-girlfriend, Nicole Lorraine, to keep their 13-minute sex tape private.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, two adults having fun with a video camera.
Lorraine, a former Playboy playmate, insisted copyright law gave her the right to market the explicit video. After Farrell won an injunction against its distribution, however, the two parties were able to reach an agreement. Still the only person ever convicted of being a part of the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, Zacarias Moussaoui was sentenced to life in prison on May 3rd after pleading guilty to all charges against him. Though his connection to and role in the 9/11 attacks has been subject to some controversy, the confessed terrorist avoided the death penalty and remains incarcerated at a supermax prison in Colorado. May 17th was a red-letter day in the history of science, because that was the day the Human Genome Project published their final chromosome sequence in the scientific journal Nature. Started in 1990, the project's goal was to make a blueprint of the genes and DNA sequences that create human beings.
I might be moving closer to my older brother. I heard that. That good or bad? I'm so hyped. Okay, awesome. I'm glad. That sounds great. Where, never mind. I'm like, whereabouts? And then I'm like, I don't want you to dox yourself. I'm good.
Among other
I
things,
love my
the
older
information
brother.
has helped
Awesome.
create and improve treatments for an untold number of
Badass.
medical disorders.
That's really
Disasters struck again on May 27th when the Yogyakarta earthquake hit Indonesia. Although the area frequently experiences earthquakes, this particular quake, which struck on the southern coast of Java near the city of Yogyakarta, occurred at a strike-slip fault, leading to an unusually
somewhere in the middle of nowhere. That's the best.
high amount of devastation. The quake caused over $3 billion in damage, injured over 10,000 people, and killed over 5,700.
Yeah.
Sadly, on June 6th, musician Billy Preston, often called the Fifth Beatle for his role in the recording of their iconic Let It Be album, passed away at his home in Scottsdale, Arizona, from complications related to
Near the trailer I used to live in where it was excruciating, torturous 9 years. Oh,
kidney
jeez.
disease. In addition to sitting in with the Fab Four, the legendary keyboardist also played with the likes of Ray Charles, Little Richard, Sam Cooke, the Rolling Stones, and many, many more. 51 years after the Beatles' documentary Let It Be hit theaters, Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson released the documentary television series Get Back. Cut from the same footage as the film, the well-received miniseries showed a different side of the Let It Be recording sessions, including highlighting the contributions of Billy Preston.
I couldn't have been clearer. There you are, Emily. How many times do I have to scream your name?
Actually, it's Andy. My name is Andy. Andrea, but everybody calls me Andy.
Yes! We've watched that music video, guys.
Now you can put your ninja skills to the test with Naruto Deluxe figures. Shadow Flow Jutsu Naruto, Shuriken Attack Iruka, Tornado Attack Sasuke, and Tree Climbing Naruto. You can collect them all. Naruto 5-inch action figures, each sold separately.
On June 29th, the U.S. Supreme Court announced its decision in Hamdan v. Rumsfeld. The majority in the case held that the Bush administration lacked the power to try Hamdan and other detainees at Guantanamo Bay before military tribunals that didn't comply with the ordinary laws of the U.S. and of war, including the Geneva Convention. A rock and roll legend died on July 7th.
I'll actually be able to use the BB guns I have. Nice.
When Pink Floyd founder Syd Barrett passed away from pancreatic cancer at the age of 60. A pioneer of early psychedelic rock, Barrett was only with his famous group long enough to appear on their first 2 albums before being sidelined by mental health problems. Never forgotten by the band, Barrett is believed to be the subject of some of their most iconic songs, like Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And July 30th marked the end of an era when the world's longest-running weekly music show, Top of the Pops, aired for the final time on BBC Two. Making its debut on the first day of January in 1964, Top of the Pops showed performances of the week's best-selling hits for 42 years before falling victim to the rapidly changing landscape of the music business. The final song on the show would be Shakira's Hips Don't Lie. After 23 seasons as a professional quarterback, 16 of those in the NFL, the great Warren Moon became the first African-American QB ever voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. By the end of his career, Moon had 8 playoff appearances, 9 Pro Bowls, and is the only man ever voted into both the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. The educational children's animated series Blue's Clues ended its run on Nickelodeon. Hosted first by Steve Burns and later by Donovan Patton, it first premiered as a part of the cable network's Nick Jr. block on September 8, 1996. The beloved series followed a dog named Blue, who left clues allowing the audience and host to deduce her daily plans. Of course, you can't keep a good dog down, so 13 years later, on November 11th, 2019, Nickelodeon brought Blues back in a brand new show called Blue's Clues and You. The series had a new host, Josh Dela Cruz, but otherwise was pretty similar to the classic series, even scoring guest appearances from the 2 original hosts. The Blue's Clues reboot would run for 4 seasons and score a handful of daytime Emmy nominations before being canceled in 2024 and removed from the Paramount Plus streaming service. And on August 24th, the international...
Steve Burns, the original star of Blue's Clues, he actually has a podcast now. I think it's like, how we doing, or are you okay, or something like that. I'd check it out. Just type in like Blue's Clues host podcast or something like that.
Astronomical Union threw us all for a loop when they removed Pluto's status as a planet 76 years after its discovery. The demotion came
Pluto is a planet
because the IAU had redefined the word planet at their 26th General Assembly. And under the new taxonomy, Pluto was now, technically, just a dwarf planet.
G'day, I'm Steve Irwin, and these are highly venomous sea crates.
On September 4th, internationally respected naturalist and television host Steve Irwin, famously known as the Crocodile Hunter, died after being attacked by a stingray while scuba diving. The sea creature's barb pierced Irwin's chest and penetrated his heart, causing his death before paramedics could arrive. Irwin was 44 years old at the time of his passing. And on September 19th,
now his 2 kids run the sanctuary with his wife, their mom.
The Thai military staged a coup d'etat in Bangkok, revoking the constitution, declaring martial law, and throwing the country into chaos. It was Thailand's first non-constitutional change of government since 1991, and it came on the heels of a year-long political crisis that had engulfed the prime minister and his allies.
You remember how to read the coverage?
Not so well, sir.
Look at me. What you do is you go out there and you look before you throw the ball. You look and see where the defense is, and you see where our guys are. You with me?
Yes, sir.
Then you throw the ball to our guys. You got that?
A whole lot of important secrets stopped being secret after Australian computer programmer and political activist Julian Assange launched WikiLeaks on
This guy's a hero.
August 4th. A well-known computer hacker, Assange was inspired to create the controversial website for whistleblowers by Daniel Ellsberg's famous release of the Pentagon Papers in 1971. After decades of contentious international legal wrangling, Julian Assange pled guilty to 1 count of publishing U.S. military secrets in a U.S. district court in Saipan. Assange was sentenced to the 5 years he had already served in a British prison while fighting extradition to the U.S. and was allowed to return to Australia a free man without any further punishment.
And then he went to the U.S. or the UN and and got to tell them how horrifically he was treated by the American government.
You know what we do here? My section.
The padded.
Sir, yes, sir, I have an idea.
What are you on your period or something?
Whoa.
Let's say you have no idea.
So
Leave it at that, okay? No idea. Zip. None.
On October 7th, journalist and human rights activist Anna Politkovskaya was shot and killed in the elevator of her apartment in Moscow. 3 Chechens were tried and acquitted in connection with the crime. But the fact that she was known for being a harsh critic of Vladimir Putin and was killed on his birthday has caused many to suspect one of his allies was behind the killing. 2 days later, on October 9th, the internet search engine giant Google bought the video hosting website YouTube for a cool $1.6 billion. At the time, YouTube was a rising star on the internet, and its staying power was considered questionable. But that didn't stop Google from completing what was, at the time, the most expensive purchase it ever made in its history. Google still owns YouTube today. After being suspected of having a secret nuclear weapons development program since at least the early 1980s, North Korea shocked the world on October 9th by confirming the rumors with its very first nuclear test. The blast was estimated to be in the area of 1 kiloton, creating uncertainty over whether the North Koreans successfully tested an unusually small device or experienced a misfire of a larger device.
Where's Gary? Nice.
Gary's dead. I'm Jack Donaghy, new VP of Development for NBC GE Universal Kmart.
We own Kmart now.
No.
Jag Shamash. My name is Borat. I'm journalist for Kazakhstan. My government sent me to USA to make a movie film. Please, you look.
Those who were lucky enough to witness David Bowie's 3-song set at the Black Ball fundraiser in New York's Hammerstein Ballroom on November 9th couldn't have known it, but they were seeing the final show of the rock legend's career. Bowie performed Wild as the Wind, Fantastic Voyage, and Changes, the last song as a duet with Alicia Keys. On January 10th, 2016, just 2 days after his final album Black Star was released, rock icon David Bowie died of liver cancer at his Lafayette Street home in New York City. Though he was diagnosed with his condition 18 months earlier, Bowie kept it a secret, so his death came as a shock to his friends, as well as his fans. News of death was met with impromptu memorials around the world, countless tributes from famous musicians, and a special medley of his most famous songs performed by Lady Gaga at the 58th Annual Grammy Awards. And on November 11th, Japanese video game fans would become the first to get access to Sony's brand new PlayStation 3. The PS3 would be the first Sony system to integrate social gaming features and use Blu-ray discs as a storage medium. Released in North America just 6 days later, it was initially...
Oh my god! That's, is that Attack of the Show? Yes, it is on G4! Oh my god! I love that. The PS3 is very nice.
North America just 6 days later, it was initially criticized for its high price and small game
and
selection.
Olivia Munn.
Dry martini.
Oui, monsieur.
Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lily. Shake it over rice, and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'll have one of those.
So will I.
If you lived in North America and had $250 on November 19th, you could have gotten yourself one of the first Nintendo Wiis. The system was hyped up by a $200 million ad campaign that worked to expand Nintendo's demographic to include parents and grandparents. It was generally well received, but struggled with the perception it was just for casual gamers.
Yeah.
On December 6th, NASA made
The Wii was fun, but it got old fast. Brawl was the only thing good on it.
Planetary news by revealing photographs taken by the Mars Global Surveyor, which depict the presence of liquid water on Mars sometime between 1999 and 2001. The photos would be followed by additional evidence showing sustained water flows at other sites.
Ooh!
It's time to play Deal or No Deal.
Come on, take the deal.
That's right, take the deal.
No deal.
It's Deal or No Deal at Toys R Us. Get your game piece in this weekend's paper. Prizes up to $1 million.
No deal.
You win.
Toys R Us, the world's greatest toy store.
The music world mourned on December 25th after James Brown, the godfather of soul, died of congestive heart failure brought on by pneumonia while at a hospital in Atlanta. The singer's condition didn't seem life-threatening when he checked himself in, and he was still planning on playing 2 shows he had later in the week, saying, "I'm the hardest working man in show business, and I'm not going to let them down." Brown was 73 years old at the time of his death. After spending years in captivity awaiting his fate, former Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein was executed by hanging on December 30th. A video broadcast on Iraqi state television showed the execution live, up to the point the noose was placed on Hussein's neck. Witnesses described the dictator as a broken man, resigned to his fate. And according to media reports, celebrations broke out in Iraq after the execution. And that's how 2006 ended, with the Saddam Hussein era over for good in Iraq, with liquid water making science fans wonder if there could be life on Mars, and with everyone else trying to decide between the Wii and the PS3. Of course, they didn't know Steve Jobs was about to drop the first iPhone. But that's for next year. Coming soon, 2007.
Wow. Looks like a big brain.
It's the
For 2007? Okay.
brains of the operation.
2007, the year The Simpsons finally got a movie. And we needed it. 2006 had taken a lot from us. In just 1 year, we lost the crocodile hunter, the hardest working man in show business,
You killed James Brown.
and Pluto, the planet, not the dog. But it wasn't all bad. We also made a map of the human genome, discovered water on Mars, and got the best James Bond movie since GoldenEye. So it was a little all over the place. 2007, on the other hand, would be the year we started using words hashtag, listicle, and tweet, which tells you pretty much all you need to know about where we were at the time and where we were headed. We're going to take you through the news, culture, sports, entertainment, and all that was weird in
I have a solid memory of that Simpsons movie from when I watched it on New Year's one time.
2007. This is Timeline.
Oh, wait. Okay. So we did 3 the first, and 3 tonight, and then we'll do 3 tomorrow. So that's how we're, yeah, because we did 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Okay, so technically 4. And then 2004, 2005, 2006, 2000, starting 2007. So yeah, we'll finish, we'll do 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2009 tomorrow. And we'll also work on a couple of other things. But I'm going to get out of here for tonight. Oh, I'm kind of beat. My head's been bugging me. But I will be back tomorrow night as long as I have childcare and nothing else comes up. I hope you guys have a safe and wonderful night. And okay. What was I gonna say? I guess it's gonna be a nightmare washing this off. Oh my goodness. All right, bye everybody.